Welcome back to the next Dragon Ball review, chapter 77, Bardock, Father of Goku. Oh man, this chapter was mixed feelings. It was really cool to see Bardock alive and in action this chapter and see more on his character, but at the same time, me expecting more from Bardock, couple small things pissed me off. And it's nothing even too bad, it's just me being petty. And it's also because I really dislike the heaters. I just don't think they're fun at all. With that being said, let's jump right into this chapter. We begin 40 years in the past. We're about to find out how Bardock is involved. Monaito made a claim last chapter that Bardock helped the last two survivors on there, which was him and Granola, of course. We're going to read this and see how. So the cool thing about this is we actually see a full-on Saiyan attack and how they used to destroy their planets. These guys were fucking monsters, no joke. The infamous Saiyan pod starts dropping down on the planet, and the Cerealians, along with the Namekians, realize something bad is about to happen, and that it does. Moments shortly, the Great Ape starts emerging. Great apes are everywhere now, wreaking havoc on the city, destroying every person in sight. As every other Namekian is wiped out, the big Namekian, he gives Monaito the Dragon Balls and he tells him, you know what you must do. Meanwhile, we get a cut back to Granola again. That one scene where Granola's running inside the building and takes cover with his mother, and then the Great Saiyan emerges there. Yeah, that Great Saiyan this whole time was Bardock. Now, obviously, we already know this chapter is going to be about Bardock, so you can make your prediction right there and accurately predict that this is Bardock. But at the same time, it's pretty noticeable because you see a scar right here in this panel. Before we see the rest of the interaction with Bardock and Granola and his mother, we go right back to the battle between the Cerealians and the Saiyans. The Cerealians knows what must be done, the moon. They must aim for the moon and destroy it to get rid of the Saiyans' Great Ape forms. I'ma just say it, while this does greatly reduce your chances of being killed, it's still not gonna do much. One Cerealian aims directly at the moon and gets ready to fire. A Great Ape tries to get in his way. It's too late though. The Cerealian uses his energy beam, blasts it at the sky, slightly hits the Great Ape, and destroys the moon. A couple more Cerealians gets wasted and back to Bardock we go, but in his human form. Finally, we made our way to Bardock in the story. It's all I've ever wanted, some canon material involving Bardock. Remember back in the days where the only scene we would see of Bardock is him approaching Frieza and dying from one big ass death ball? We've really made progress. Granola's mother doesn't waste no time as she tries to kill Bardock, but Bardock dodges it and it grazes his left arm, leaving a scratch. Granola and his mother is so lucky that out of all Saiyans, they ran into Bardock. This soft-hearted nature runs in the family. This kind Saiyan remembers his own son, Kakarot's birth, and has a brief blast of the past. Can I just say it? I don't care what y'all say, but Goku's mom, Jean, is fire. I think it's pronounced Jean though, so correct me if I'm wrong. I want to know if I'm saying it wrong. But yes, she's fire, and she did not deserve the fate that she received. Let's bring back this character in Dragon Ball with some stupid loophole. We need more female casting members anyway, okay? And she's a full Saiyan, so that's a plus. Okay, guys, stop talking about Jean. We need to move on and talk about what's going on in the actual story. Fuck. Bardock remembers missing this cute moment, with him showing up after missing Goku's birth. Now, missing the birth wasn't cute, but the moment afterwards. And we'll just add that on to bad fathers in Shonen, okay? Come on, man. These fathers need to do better in Shonen. But it's here at this moment, after the baby's arrival, that Bardock decides to name his child Kakarot. And him and Jean seem pretty happy. After thinking about his own child and family, he lets Granola and his mother live and grabs the passed out Granola to head in the direction of a small power level he has just discovered. Making way to this location, it is none other than Monaito, the Namekian that eventually watches over Granola. Monaito's ready for action as he hears a threat and tries swinging on Bardock. Bardock catches Monaito's cane, and Monaito realizes Bardock isn't a bad individual, with him bringing two Cerealians alive and well. Now that the Cerealians seem to be at peace with this Namekian, Bardock prepares to take off, but tells Monaito the name of himself at Monaito's request. Back to the present, Granola realizes that he's only alive thanks to a Saiyan's mercy. So this whole time he's been trying to get revenge on the Saiyans, when in reality, a Saiyan saved his life and his own mother's life. But the puzzle is not making sense yet, because Granola passed out when he saw the Great Ape Bardock. His memory is hazy and he doesn't know exactly what happened to his mother, how his mother did end up dead. But before we get more of that, Goku gets confirmation that this is his actual dad that we're talking about here when we say the name Bardock. He gets confirmation by Monaito saying he sees the great resemblance between the two. And Vegeta agreeing that that is his father and looks like the kind-hearted nature runs in the very family. Before we get more of Goku's thoughts on this, because he still doesn't really think much of it, Granola interrupts and asks Monaito how come his mother didn't survive. And we're gonna have to jump into the past once more. Monaito decides to heal up Bardock's arm, the one that got shot by Granola's mother. After that's taken care of though, we see these damn fucking heaters. That's right, even the heaters were around 40 years ago and they look almost exactly the same. And man, I just hate that Bardock has this concerned look on his face. Sure, I know the heaters are serving Frieza directly, and sure, they can be strong, I guess, whatever. But my headcanon, I just want Bardock to destroy these fucking guys because they look like posers. But I guess their power isn't nothing to laugh at entirely because Bardock is acting very cautious. And he manages to eavesdrop and hear the entire plan of what the Heaters' true motives are. The Heaters are playing the long game and they're being good at it. They're racking up a ton of money by selling this planet to other people at a very high price and barely cutting in Frieza's army at any cost because Frieza's army couldn't really give a shit about the business part and doesn't really know the planet's true value. They just care about being in battle and acting crazy in battle. So they put together this plan that as long as Frieza doesn't catch on himself, they're good. As long as they build plenty of wealth in the future and they have their wits and intel, then one day the day will come that they even surpass Frieza himself. Oh man, I just want Frieza to catch one of these guys. Like, I just wish there was an extra heater in the past that got, I don't know, sold out to Frieza or did something and Frieza caught on and just obliterated just one of them. Just to see one of them get obliterated by Frieza. I want to see Frieza himself take out these guys. But nonetheless, this is a big betrayal plot and Bardock has just heard the whole thing. Unfortunately for Bardock, a once knocked out Granola has just woken up and he's still unaware of what's entirely going on, so he sees a Saiyan and freaks out. He yells out, "A Saiyan!" and it makes enough noise for the heaters to notice something's going on. So Bardock has to act quick. He takes Monaito's cloak and he tries to play things off. The heater sees and wonders what Bardock is about to do, to which Bardock replies, "I was just about to slaughter these survivors I spotted," but tries to save time and play off that the Namekian just used some strange power, so maybe it's worth checking out before killing him. Luck is not on Bardock's side, however, because one of the heaters, the main heater, takes his blaster out and shoots Granola's mom right in the chest. It's not looking good for her. What I forgot to mention is prior to this, when Granola woke up and got all crazy talking about a Saiyan is here, Monaito used his Namekian abilities to make him go to sleep for a bit. So Granola's not witnessing any of this with his own eyes. An angry Bardock turns around and tries to attack the heaters. But that little bitch motherfucker Gas makes a shield just in time to avoid any damage. The heaters are aware that they have to go after Bardock and the others because they might have heard their master plan. Things get even worse now for Bardock's group as Monaito says it's no use. His power is not going to be enough to save Granola's mother. So as of now, we don't see how this entirely turns out because we end it with Gas setting out to try to find them. And then back to the present as Gas and the leader of the heaters are looking around, taking a trip down memory lane of that day 40 years ago. And from the looks of it, it looks like Bardock pulled the fast one on Gas and really got him because it looks like Gas wants revenge on the Saiyans too. And I'm crossing my fingers that Bardock did him the absolute dirtiest. Finally, they have one out of the 2 Dragon Balls that they need, and they're one step closer to making their wish. And the fighter in that group seems to be Gas, at least the main fighter. So I'm only imagining that the wish is probably for him to be strongest in the universe. And eventually he'll cross paths with Granola and the rest of the people. The secret will come out that the heaters killed Granola's mom. And then we get a team up with the Saiyans, hopefully. Granola, Goku, and Vegeta versus the new strongest in the universe. We'll have to see, I guess. At this point, I don't care who knocks out Gas and the rest of the heaters, but somebody has to hurry up and do it. And, I know I said I don't care, but let it be Granola. He needs to have his vengeance on the right people. And that ends the chapter. Thank you guys for watching. Like and sub. I appreciate it. This has been great. I'm enjoying the series. We're almost there to the end. I'll see you guys in the next one.